This is Danny from Baltimore, Maryland, representing one of the 6 Wolves fans in Baltimore. You're listening to DU Football Show.
Could one possibly say the entire state of Maryland?
Probably, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Mel finally got around to admin and got all the new sound drops from the live show, so we'll have some new intros.
There we go.
How about that?
They've needed some updating
Look
recently.
at us doing professional work.
I know, and a back and forth.
Yeah, so guess what? Let's start the show. Hello and welcome
Yes.
to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by 2 common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and that grinning fucking fool across the way from me is Samuel Graham. Sammy,
I just
how are
love
you?
it when you're getting a little full of yourself and then you come crashing right back down to earth.
It was that so, and then I could hear him praying, please just have me the right spot, otherwise I'm an asshole.
But then he goes, hello,
Yeah.
as it came back. Loved
Yeah,
it.
well, it came back because I got that grinning fucking fool going,
Come on,
fail,
yeah.
fail, I want you to fail. I don't want my partner to be successful. I want him to crash and fucking burn.
That's what makes the show lovable.
We're recording at Studio H just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please remember to review where you can, like on Apple Podcast, share with your friends, rate, and all that good stuff. So should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, why don't you tell the good people how they get in touch?
Sure, they can get in touch on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at DUfootballshow. As always, a reminder, we do check our DMs. We talk to people frequently during games, so hit us up. And then via email, if you want to go old school and be read out on the show, at DUfootballshow@gmail.com. And we did get a humdinger.
Yeah, fantastic email
email.
from Keith, one of our Newcastle listeners. So we will be breaking that down into multiple parts in one segment, actually.
Yep.
So Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every show. Sammy, what are we drinking on today?
A humdinger of a whiskey, to be honest with you.
So good.
This is the Glenrothes, Whiskey Maker's Cut. It is a non-age statement, but it was aged exclusively in sherry casks. It is their barrel proof. Excuse me, I burped. Because it's that good. What?
Just keep talking.
Oh, I had that covered. 97.6 proof this comes in at, which is a little softer than the rest of our barrel strengths that we've done in the last few weeks. Comes in at $85.99 to $89.99 on the shelf. And remember to drink responsibly.
Very good. So I would say what's really lovely about this, because it's in all sherry, no bourbon wood at all. That really kind of helps with the proof too. You get a little bit of that wine barrel, kind of softens it.
Absolutely.
And that bottle's half full because Daddy knocked out half of it this weekend because it was that fucking good.
There you go.
So let's have a great show.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, that was a loud one.
I thought he had it under control.
I did have it under control.
Oh, that was pretty pathetic too.
Let's
Let's
try
try that
again.
again.
I could have seen that coming.
Okay.
Yeah, that was sad.
Y'all
Yeah.
didn't reach far enough.
It proved to be the thigh rubber of the weekend, Sam, but for the wrong reason.
Damn
Tottenham 2, Manchester City 0. The referee's first name should not be the thing we should be talking about during a game, yet somehow Mike Dean made it all about Mike Dean that game, didn't he?
Of course he did.
Jesus.
I like the way he paraded around yellow cards after the scuffle. Walked the length of the pitch just doling yellow cards out. That was pretty funny. This wrought with controversy, and the controversy was better than the football, to be honest.
Yeah.
More entertaining. Raheem Sterling shouldn't have been on the pitch. Start there.
That is the exact same foul that Aubameyang committed on another player.
Correct.
When he got his red card. That is the exact same place with the exact same veracity. The only difference was Sterling stayed on his feet a little bit, but there is no difference in the fact that that was spikes directly into the ankle and could have broken a leg.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So they refused to send him off, and then VAR decided to 2 minutes down the line. Now, the ball never went out of play, which is fair enough, but on a nothing clearance, Mike Dean should stop it if he's hearing something in his ear.
Right. Immediately stop it.
was-
You just do a drop ball somewhere to get the ball back into play.
1 minute and 55 seconds it took for the ball to go out of play and them to review Serge Aurier's tackle.
Yeah.
Justice in Spurs' eyes was served, obviously. Oh, also Mike Dean not going to the monitor,
Right.
which I think is bullshit.
Go to
But
the
that's just
fucking
me.
monitor.
Go to the monitor, especially for something that could directly result in a goal. That's ridiculous to me. They don't do
Go
that.
to the monitor and look at the fact that Sterling put his foot through somebody's ankle.
Right, exactly. Penalty got saved by Hugo Lloris.
Yep.
Spilled the rebound, fine. Gets up, gets to it well. Sterling actually got to it first, it looked like. And Lloris and Sterling did make contact. I think Sterling was already beginning to go down, though. So
Right.
I think he dove. VAR looked at it again, refused to award the penalty to Sterling. Also refused to review the penalty, or they may have reviewed it and decided, but it looked to me like Lloris was off his line and it should have been retaken in the first place.
Or the fact that Dean decided not to go into his pocket and pull out a second yellow card for Sterling, which, by the way, he should have already seen a red.
He should have seen a straight red.
But then it's either a penalty or it's a simulation. And if it's a simulation, that's a yellow card.
You have to then award the yellow, correct.
It's-
And we've seen it done.
It's hard. I mean, you have to admit this for us. I mean, it's hard to sit there and say that VAR is slanted against certain teams. Like when you see this, like, we talked about how VAR has kind of screwed over Manchester City a few times. No more. VAR completely helped them in this match.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just trying to get. By the way, in all that scuffle, Zelenko, right?
Zimchenko.
Gets a yellow card for being in the scuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yep.
Sterling doesn't get his second yellow.
Correct.
But then
Later on, City
for-
actually were reduced to 10 men finally.
for Zimchenko getting his second yellow, and you kind of look at that and you're like, you
This
gave
should-
2 yellows to that guy,
But not for that other tackle.
but not
yeah.
for the superstar. Like,
Right. Exactly.
what kind of game are you calling? Is kind of like, where is your brain? Like,
Well, the other thing is not to be too much in the foreshadow, but I think Zimchenko's challenge as Fabian Delph's was a little bit softer.
yeah,
I don't know that it was necessarily a yellow to begin with.
Delph's is not a yellow.
This was a tactical foul.
yeah,
But the point about both of them, the one in the Venn diagram of my brain, if you will, the one thing that overlaps is don't give the referee a decision to make.
true,
Don't, like, for Delph's, Etienne Capoue was going nowhere
right,
where he was. He had no reason to stab in. I agree. I hold my hands up. It's not a yellow card for me.
right,
But if you put yourself, we've talked about this with us. We've talked about this with Premier League teams. We've talked about this our entire footballing lives together. Don't put yourself in the position to let the referee make a decision, especially when it's Mike Dean.
Oh, considering so what seems so baffling to me in this game is that, and unfortunately it overshadows what was otherwise a really kind of classic Jose performance out of Spurs.
Oh, absolutely. They only had 3 shots on target the entire match.
And City had their opportunities and just weren't capitalizing. There was so much more to talk about, but you're left to a point where all you can talk about is Dino here.
Right.
And okay, so you're not going to make the tough call at the beginning of the match and give a red card where it should have been given, but then you're going to insert yourself into the match later to enact a sending off. Like,
Right.
It just seems, if you're not going to involve yourself at the start of the match, then
Thought so.
you've determined what this match is. It's going to be physical. You're going to have to let shit go.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely. If you
only
didn't
gave
get
a yellow
control
for
of the
that-
game, if you didn't get control of the game from the start, you're never going to be in control again.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like to point out, Mel, you'll appreciate this. If you'd care to unmute, just so I can get a live reaction here. The VAR was Kevin Friend.
Fuck you, friend.
All right, enough with VAR. Fuck them. Okay?
Yeah.
New boy, signed on Wednesday, Steven Bergwijn. Fantastic goal. That was insane. First division from Mora.
Oh, yeah.
Was awesome to find him just to begin with. But perfectly cushioned off his chest.
Right to the foot that's swinging.
Oh, yeah.
Right to the lower corner.
Full volley.
Oh,
it was fantastic.
gorgeous goal.
Got just around the backside of Fernandinho. It was a fantastic goal. Shame to see him go off injured later on in the game.
Odd celebration.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's with his friends when he does a gaming thing.
Yeah, it's when they play FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
put
almost
it
like
in
a you
front of their
can't see me
face.
or something. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
Oh, it is. It's very sweet. It's better
Yeah.
than Moise Ken's first
No.
celebration in England.
And I thought it was so cute how when he was doing it, and then Son was trying to do it with him.
Yeah, that
I'll
didn't
just
go
hit the
so
mute
well.
Well,
button right
I mean,
now.
he's a national treasure. We
Well,
already know that.
And then here, I have it right here. I tweeted it out actually because you were at Le Galerie, and San celebrated the return of Andres Gomez to training.
oh, clearly by scoring a
with
goal.
the goal. And
Yeah.
he did it because he's such a nice guy.
You know, he is a really, really nice guy. You guys have changed my opinion. He really is the nicest guy ever.
I
Just
believe,
what a sweet man.
I believe Son is tied for the most red cards this season, which would be 2. I can't
Yep.
remember who he's tied with, but
And he-
I'm sure he was just misunderstood every time, Sam.
Jefferson Lormer was sent off this weekend. It might be him.
No, he's got the most yellow cards.
Who do I think does? Or
No,
who?
Lermer has the most yellow
Yeah.
cards. I looked that one up.
Lerma and Son.
I feel like it's Decore.
Yeah.
It should be Decore.
No,
for fuck's sake.
Decore just fouls everybody and never gets carded. Like in the Everton match, I will get to it. There was one point where I think it was I forget who it was who got carded. It wasn't. I think it was Luca Digne who got carded. He turned around and he pointed at Decore, and you could just tell him being like, "At what point are you going to give him a card?"
Yeah.
And then just turned around and walked away.
Yeah.
Like he deserved the card completely, but it was just like, "All right,
That's
give
fine.
me a card."
You got to
Give that
give him
dick
a
a
card.
card.
Yeah.
The other funny thing with that game, I'm enjoying the Jose we're getting currently. We don't know how much longer we're going to have him for.
He's completely on a charm offensive.
He's just sitting in the chair as
Smiling,
all of this
yeah.
shit's going on. Arms crossed, kind of smiling, shrugging his shoulders.
I got the little
looking
squint going
away.
as well.
It
Yeah.
was so fucking brilliant.
Now,
it was so brilliant.
Now, we did see original Jose when Zinchenko first brought down Harry Winks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing about it. It's such a stupid play to make. Harry Winks isn't that quick.
Even if he got by you, like
You
you're
can
gonna
catch up
him.
to him. Yeah, but he didn't go for the ball, nothing. As he approached him, he turned his shoulder and then just shoulder barged him. Well, it's still a foul. You made no attempt at the ball whatsoever. It's stupid, and he's clean through. It's just a dumb play. It's a young mistake, and he is still a young player, Zinchenko.
Right.
But yeah, so Son hit, and then that was basically the end of it. I mean, you could just tell, as you say, Jose sitting there, arms folded, smiling, that kind of stuff, that it just knew with a few of those chances that City had, and then the penalty, the save, then the not give a penalty again.
Yeah.
You just tell it was going to be one of those days. Aguero hit the post.
Oh, Aguero hit the post. Give credit where credit is due.
Lloris did get a
Lloris
toe
got
to it,
that
didn't he?
toe out.
Yeah.
Quickly got the leg out and knocked. I mean that ball's going in if he doesn't get his toe on it.
Absolutely.
If he doesn't get his feet on that ball was definitely going in the back of the net. And
That beer is lovely. You're going to love that.
it could change. You know, that game could have changed in any moment early on, and you just again, it's Jose ball. You're just like, there's
There it
the
is.
Jose
Yeah,
we
there it
know,
is.
frustrating the fuck out of everybody. So looking at what Spurs are doing, they're now only 4 points behind Chelsea. Do we think they could catch Chelsea for fourth place?
Well, Chelsea don't want it.
Very
Son
true.
has-
Chelsea don't want it.
Son has 3 red cards.
This season,
Yeah.
he got one last season.
It says Son Heung-min has more red cards in 2019 than Eric Cantona did in the
Eric
entire Man United career.
Yeah, Kenton
And he
all once
drop-kicked a
drop
fan.
kicked a player. Yeah,
Do you know
A
what
fan.
Do you know
Fan,
what
that's right.
team has the most red cards?
Everton.
Ooh.
Everton.
Yeah, probably true.
Yeah.
Deservedly so, bunch of thugs.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember.
That's interesting. Is this the 2019-2020 season, or is this the calendar year of 2020?
It's the calendar year because Son
Or of
got one
2019,
last year in
I
2019.
don't know. I just read the headline.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was. It's a calendar year. This season, he only has 2. So yeah, I'm tending to think that Jose could quietly, you've got Liverpool's out of the way, City's out of the way.
Yep.
I believe Chelsea's already out of the way as well.
I don't know.
Yeah,
about
because they just had the Jose derby.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe that's true. Yeah.
They've pretty much gotten everybody out of the way.
Yeah, but there's no Harry Kane, and now we don't know about Bergwijn's injury.
True.
And without him being on the field and opening the scoring, they never really looked like going forward. The other thing is what had the last 3 weeks without Harry Kane, and it's been Son and what's his name?
Ali.
No, Son, Dele
Moura.
Alli, and Lucas Moura. Yeah,
Right.
And they couldn't find the back of the net anyway. So you wonder, quote unquote, and it's weird to say because they're all very talented forwards. I mean, minus Son's hot streak there. They're all very talented forwards. There's no denying that. So why they can't score, I don't know. They did finally get rid of Christian Eriksen.
Yeah.
He's off to Inter Milan.
That might help too. Sometimes
Yeah,
just getting bad juju out of the locker room could
Absolutely.
always help. And let's face it, Eriksen hasn't wanted to be there for a while. He's talked about it. When he's on the pitch, he would show an occasional good moment, but you could just you have something that toxic, you can really bring.
It could really bring a club down. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And for City, it's pretty much Champions League in their cups, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's all they have to play for. I mean, Liverpool are now 22 points clear. If Liverpool beats City, the game before the derby, right?
Yeah.
If they beat City, win all their other games until then, and then beat City, they can mathematically clinch the title at Goodison Park.
Fuck yourself. Frankly, the bottom of the table is far more interesting to talk about than the rest of the league. So that's what we're going to talk about.
I was going to say, we go from the afternoon drama to the evening comedy.
Yeah, heard. So West Ham 3, Brighton 3, Bournemouth 2, Villa 1, Newcastle 0, Norwich 0, Everton 3, Watford 2. West Ham now find themselves in the relegation drop zone with a daunting set of fixtures ahead.
Yep.
They needed the win today, and they didn't. Well, they needed to win Saturday, and they didn't get it.
They did not get it. In spectacular fashion, might I add.
What the fuck is going on?
So my first sentence here in my notes, and I will read it verbatim. It's the most West Ham thing that West Ham has ever West Hammed.
So West Ham.
They were 2-0 up through a deflected Robert Snodgrass. That was the second one, actually. But Issa Diop scored as well. It's a big weekend for defenders.
Center backs scoring goals left and
Like,
right.
fucking crazy.
Couple of braces out of some center backs.
Yeah. So Issa Diop scored first. Snodgrass with a deflected effort. Diop was on the end of a free kick and then stabbed home. Very well, actually. That was a wonderful finish.
Yeah.
Coming kind of over the top, and he had to slide, get to it, stretch to it.
Yeah.
Snodgrass,
really well done.
Snodgrass got lucky. The funny part about Snodgrass is between the two goals, though. Did you see Mark Noble had a right old swing at that?
Oh, yeah.
That little cutback.
Yep.
To the point where he completely whiffed the motherfucker and then fell over because he swung so hard he was that off balance.
Well, he has already stated to the press, he's like, seriously, I'm in my late 30s. Can I get a fucking
Yeah.
break? Do I have to play every game? Kind of starting to get old here.
Didn't we sign other
I'd like to
midfielders?
rest.
Yeah. Didn't we sign other midfielders? Like, what? Why do I have to play every day? Which is pretty funny. But that whiff, I fell out of my chair.
Too
laughing.
funny.
Oh,
Fucking hysterical.
It was very good. All right. Then the stand-up comedian started.
Yep.
Fabianski first, trying to punch clear from a corner. Kind of missed it. It kind of hit the underside of his fist. Right off of Ogbonna's head, back in the net.
Yep.
That's just funny. Then Ball comes in. It's a nothing cross to nobody. Both center backs.
Yep.
They were allergic to responsibility.
We know defend now.
Completely allergic to responsibility. Somebody remembered they were playing a football match. I think it was Igbona. Tried to head back to Fabianski. Was weak. Fabianski didn't get to it. And I think it's their new boy. Won it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Was it there? It was a new player for them.
Yeah.
And now I can't find his name because I wrote so much funny shit in here. Anyway, but he just tapped it around Fabianski, got taken out by Fabianski, and to just salt in the wound, ball just trickles into the net. Nobody could get there.
Yep.
So that was pretty funny. And then Snodgrass, another deflected volley.
Yeah.
Got it back to a 2-goal lead. You think
they get the 2-goal lead back. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Cruise control.
Well, when that first goal went in, right, for Brighton, you're like, oh, fuck. And you get nervous for them, right? You're like, that's a stupid way to concede a goal. What are we going to do? And you could see their shoulders drop a little bit, like, oh, fuck, really, this again?
Right.
And then Snodgrass with another deflected effort. I know I talked about the second goal for Brighton, but they but you get back to 3-1, you're like, all right, we're back in, we're back on this. Just tighten up shop.
Right.
Don't give anything up. And then that dumb shit happens.
Yep.
And it's like, what? And then 36-year-old Glenn Murray, first goal of the season.
Yeah.
To tie it up right at the end.
Because of course. Because
West Ham.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's we're gonna get a little bit more into West Ham here because we're gonna kind of dissect the overall state of everything here at the end of the segment.
Yes.
But going into Cherries, find another timely win. It didn't help Villa that they spotted them a 2-0 lead. Weird match because Villa had more than enough opportunities to be the better team, and they just didn't seem to want to take it.
Absolutely. They again, it's hard to find where the goals are going to come from in that side.
Jack Grealish is the only player showing anything.
Right.
And here's a stat. Villa has yet to score from a header.
Yeah, I saw that.
So all of those...
Didn't they just sign somebody, though, that's supposed to...
I don't know.
The Swans...
the Swansea guy.
Swans front man who hasn't been playing.
Who scores mostly headers.
Well, that's probably why we signed him.
Yeah.
We keep making those crosses.
You also have more crosses into the box or something like that as well.
We keep making the crosses, and Target and Gilbert can't seem to do anything, yet we keep trying.
Well, it's not really their job. They're not supposed to be up there.
Well, putting the balls in.
I mean,
they're putting the balls in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They keep making the crosses to them, but
nobody gets on the end of it.
No.
Yeah.
And Spanish Howard, remember? Okay, so last week I was all impressed with, I called the hat trick of saves.
Uh-huh.
You called the patty cake.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that he should have put his hands on it. Well, one of the goals that got scored on him was because he didn't get his hands on it.
And
he only made that mistake once.
Yep. Oh, shortly thereafter, Pepe Reina should have done better to hold on to a Ryan Fraser
Did you
shot.
really have that in your notes?
It's right
I
there.
didn't read your notes. See, I'm doing better at this.
And Nathan Ake turned in the rebound on that one. But, yeah, he absolutely, same thing. He should have held that ball, I feel like.
Seemed like so many heavy feet, too.
The Ryan Fraser shot was tame, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Now, it came through a few bodies. Maybe he saw it late. But you either have to push that wider or you got to hold on to it. I mean, you've won a fucking World Cup, mate.
Yeah. But he only made that mistake once. Like, there was a few more where he got his hands on it.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But that's the thing. It only takes that one time. You know, you lost by one goal. It was that one.
I'm getting discouraged being this close in the drop zone.
Well,
as I,
fortunately
Sam
for
pour my shot.
Yeah, well, fortunately for you and Villa, here's your shot of Malort for you, by the way.
Thank you. We couldn't get away with 3 weeks in a row, could we? Are you videoing?
I'm not drinking a shot.
No, here, I'll just take a picture of you.
You can
Just hold it
video.
up.
I
All
just
right.
need to talk again if I'm going to video.
Hold on. God damn it. I went the wrong way. There we go. Go.
So, go ahead. Do your shot.
I mean, they've got to start scoring some goals, guys. Jack can't be the only good player on the team. We are now 44% chance of us getting relegated. And there's only, 13, 14 games left?
Yep.
Yeah. So get your shit together. Up the Villa.
You know, it's fortunate for them despite the loss.
There it is.
Everybody else around
God,
them,
that's as bitter as we played.
everybody else around them fucked up enough that they found themselves still outside of the zone.
Absolutely.
Because West Ham did their little baffle. And
Well, that was
Well, I think
that
we're
was
in
the
the zone.
one thing. No, you're not. You're 2 points above it, or
Yeah,
point above it, or something.
point above it. You're in 17th.
But
It's Hammers in 18th, Watford in 19th, and Norwich in 20th.
yeah, but that was the good thing about this weekend is nobody else really, apart from Bournemouth because they lost to them. Nobody else did anything. Nobody else got results that were in the drop zone.
Yeah. And
There was a couple of draws. There was a couple of losses, but Villa didn't hurt themselves necessarily. So
yeah, true. And
that's the one positive that could be taken from
right,
it.
you didn't get hurt. And like I said, well, at the end here, we'll kind of put a little bit of a bow on the whole bottom half of the table as it is.
Here we go with this again.
The
no, we're
going
going
to
to put a bow on it.
But Sam has
I don't have that in DU bingo.
okay. Well, you know what you do have? A mute button, and we're done talking about Villa. So I could say the following about Norwich, Sammy. So today, okay, swallow your whiskey, please. Swallow your whiskey. Okay, you good now?
It's hard to swallow whiskey and laugh at the same time.
Heard, yeah. Well, sorry, I'll try not to be entertaining and funny on this show. I'll just be the tyrant that I am. So speaking of Norwich, Newcastle United and Norwich City played a professional soccer match
Yeah.
in the English Premier League this Saturday.
Something like that.
And on to Watford Everton.
Hey, hold on.
All right.
Two things.
Okay.
Dubravka and Krul, to be honest, were both awesome.
Okay.
Had some saves.
All right.
But we did have a question.
Okay, good. Okay, so at least we have a question.
Which we alluded to, obviously, in the opening. We have a question from Mr. Keith, part of the Mobtown Magpies, the Newcastle supporters group.
Absolutely.
In Baltimore. One of his questions we're kind of going through as we go through the games, so we won't read that out. But what is your totally biased opinion of the job Steve Bruce is doing? Yes, the team is better than the shit expectations, but their attack has no teeth. Tied with Norwich for the fourth fewest goals. Saturday's game with the Canaries was a great example of that. No defenders scored on set pieces, which apparently is all they can hope for. So they looked like garbage. What do we think? And overall, what is Steve Bruce doing?
Smoke and mirrors. Period.
What do you mean?
He's doing just enough with the defense to keep them in matches.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting timely scoring when they need it.
It's like 2 in stoppage time
right.
against Everton.
Yeah, precisely. They have talent, but I don't think Bruce knows how to coach said talent.
No.
If we're putting it on Bruce specific, what do we think of Bruce's job? It's been smoke and mirrors. It's been fantasy. It's been gum and duct tape. It's shocking. Like,
to be honest, it's almost like, about total brain fart. Rafa.
yeah.
It's almost like Rafa forgot his defensive tactics notebook in the desk when he left.
Right. And
Steve Bruce is
read
just
it.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen this from a Steve Bruce side. He's higher up in the Premier League than I think he's ever been as a manager.
I think it's fortunate that there are shittier teams than him.
Yes.
Like I don't think it is. I don't think their point in the table is because of quality of squad or quality of performance. I think they are as shite as the rest of them. They
just can't score goals.
Right.
I mean,
they have the talent to score goals. They just don't know how to.
They just
produce
don't.
them.
Yeah, they just don't do it. But defensively, they've been organized.
Yeah.
They've done well defensively. Even when Isaac Hayden got his red, right?
Yep.
The younger Longstaff boy stepped in brilliantly.
Yeah.
Newcastle through and through, Geordie through and through. Those two, the Longstaff brothers.
Ben Taleb will be a nice addition to the squad in the middle.
But they've got one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, in my opinion.
I was
in
about
Martin
to say
Dubravka.
that. Dubravka keeps you in a lot of games. Dubravka wins you a lot of points.
Absolutely.
You probably like the fortune of getting 2 goals at the end of the game doesn't happen if Dubravka doesn't save 3 more shots to keep that from being a 5-0 loss.
Yeah, well, 100%. And you also have Lascelles, who I think could get in most teams in England.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fabian Schär.
Gotta brush his teeth though.
Yeah.
Apparently his breath stank.
Fabian Schär, who's a decent enough center back. Not as good as Lascelles, in my opinion, but a decent enough. And then, is it Florent Lejeune?
Yeah.
The Frenchman?
Who apparently can score goals at will.
Yeah, right. So you've got 3 decent center backs, at minimum decent center backs. The speed of DeAndre Yedlin. They just brought in Danny Rose on loan as well at that right back position. So now there's some depth. And then Jetro Willems. Ting.
Yeah, well, he got hurt, unfortunately.
But so you have Matt Ritchie back.
Yeah.
But you have speed and recovery speed, especially on both flanks, and decent enough defending. I mean, how many times has Yedlin gotten back and cleared balls off the line?
Right.
How many times has Jetro Williams stopped a cross from being pumped in? So defensively, I don't think they're as bad off as people make out. It's just the positions in which the decision-making process they have isn't great all the time, and they give the ball up in shit positions. That, of course, leads to goals. That's any club. My boys are guilty of that right now as well. But they've, it's going forward. It's putting the ball in the back of the net that's hard for them. And we always make fun of West Ham for ruining strikers' careers.
Right.
Newcastle's right along there with them.
If Almiron hadn't scored in the last couple of weeks, we'd be real worried about. We'd be still talking about how Almiron hasn't scored yet. Joe Linton hasn't scored yet.
Oh yeah, well Joe Linton still hasn't scored. He
Yeah.
had that tap in the FA Cup, and that was it. But they but yes, it's tough, man. It's hard for you can't win if you don't score. The best result you can hope for is a 0-0.
I'd like to see what they would have done under a better coach. Like I said, I feel like Bruce.
Yeah, but the problem, who wants to work for Mike Ashley is the problem.
Nobody does.
And now
Nobody
the transfer window was open, so there was more. We didn't make fun of it this time as much as we should have, but there was
the takeover was going to happen.
The takeover
again,
was going to happen again,
which is why Ashley didn't have to spend money and just did loan deals because he's about to be taken over again.
Yep.
It's
the same song and dance. So I think Steve Bruce has done very well with what he has. How much of that is actually down to him? I don't really know. Because we've never seen this from him before.
I'd put very little of it on
But
him.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's almost like some of the players maybe took over and was like, listen, this is what we were doing under Rafa. We did your shit for a month and a half at the beginning of the season and it didn't work.
Yeah.
This is what we were doing under Rafa. We'll take it from here.
All right, so on to Everton Watford. What a fucking kick in the nuts for Watford. That is 2 in a row in the Prem that you lose late when you had the lead in both the Villa and the Everton match. Yep. You had every chance to dig yourself out. I fear if they don't go to Brighton and at least get a point, really a win, or if they give up another one of those dramatic losses.
That could be them down.
It doesn't matter what Pearson does. Doesn't matter what Troy Deeney does. That they're not... That's a hard one to take. Like the analogy I made a few weeks back, Sam. It's a college team being down by 20. You finally tie it up, or you go up by 1, and the other team comes down and hits 2 threes in a row, and you're suddenly going, "Fuck."
Yep, absolutely. But 2 terrible mistakes from your boys led up to the first
led
goal.
to both the goals.
Basically,
terrible defending.
Basically, just runs not being tracked. It was very simple runs, both of them. And normal runs that a winger and then a late arriving midfielder would make, and just nobody ran with them.
People in Everton forums keep talking about how great Sidibe's been, and I think Sidibe has moments of brilliance. I think he's very good going forward, but he is prone to getting worked by a winger, and he got worked by De La Feu for the first goal. Flat out worked. You're as a wing back. You can get beat, but you better put their ass on the ground. What
I'm saying, even then, with the cross, the run should have been tracked.
Yeah.
Who was marking him?
Yeah.
Messina strolled right in.
Yep, walked
Not
right
a
in.
problem.
That would have been, Walcott should have been on him.
Yeah, and same thing with Pereira for the second one.
Yep.
But none of that matters because step up Yerry Mina. Another goal mouth scramble. Yerry Mina tucks home. And then a kind of flubbed header 4 minutes later, but got it in the back of the net. It's all that matters.
So we learned our lesson. After giving up 2 goals in 2 minutes, we went out and scored 2 goals in 2 minutes.
And at this point in the weekend, I believe that was the 5th defender to score.
Yes.
At that point.
And that was 2 center backs at that point, both on a brace.
Yeah.
Rudiger and Mina.
Yeah, Rudiger and Mina. You had the Leicester game. Was that Sunday? Or was that Saturday?
Saturday in the morning.
Yeah, so you had
that was with Rudiger. It was Chilwell.
Oh, that's
scored.
right. Yeah, Chilwell. Ben Chilwell scored. So you had another so 3 defenders scored in that game.
At one point, there was 12 goals. 7 of them were scored by defenders, and 6 of those 12 were scored by center backs.
I was so proud.
It was like
I was so proud.
check out the center backs getting goals.
Look at my boys.
We already alluded to it, but that was such a soft second yellow for Delph.
It was definitely a soft yellow.
Don't put yourself in that situation, and the ref doesn't have to give you a card. You know?
Oh yeah, it was a stupid foul. There was nowhere he was going. He's not as fast as Fabian Delph, Etienne Capoue. So you can recover. There's no reason to stab in where he was, and to do it right under the nose of the lineman like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And
to
the
be
veracity of the way that lineman's going to shake that flag says a lot
about
you know. And if he goes berserko on it, and Capoue's rolling around and making a meal of it,
of course,
guess who's getting that second yellow?
100%.
But that being said, check out what it's like to have a real fucking football manager running a fucking football team.
Yeah.
Makes the right moves, the right subs, readjusts the team.
What did he do? He stepped Mason Holgate up into the midfield.
Yep, and brought in
Michael Keane.
Yep.
Yep.
Didn't have an extra defensive midfielder on the bench. He had already brought him on for as Schneiderlin went on for Gylfi, and it's like, okay, here we go. We'll make this work.
What a fantastic counterattack. Now,
Richie, that run. Jesus.
I thought Moise Kean whiffed it on first glance.
Yeah.
Then they showed the slow motion. That's hard to say. They showed the slow motion.
Well done.
From the other angle, from like the corner flag.
Mm-hmm.
And the way his foot is angled and the very soft touch he gets on it, that pass may have been on purpose.
You know what? It counted, and I don't care. And holy shit, Theo Walcott did not sky it over the net like I expected him to. The ball was coming across.
I was having flashbacks.
I stood up and I was just going, please, 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 just screaming, please, till it went in.
Then
I lost my shit.
I was scared for you. I was having flashbacks to Walcott doing his thing.
It's like anybody but Walcott, not Walcott.
But how also? I mean, it could be the pass of the season. If
it was a pass.
If it was a pass. Yeah. If it was legitimate. I mean, that was to know he was running like that is awesome. That was like Pele's dummy in the World Cup way back when. That how would he have known that the dude was behind him running after a 60-yard run? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think they clocked it on Match of the Day, I heard. 94 yards, Theo Walcott. Busting a fucking gut to get there.
Yep,
and
ran from inside the goal box of the Everton half of the field all the way down to the other end to put away the game-winning goal.
Yeah, and if you've kicked your kids out of the room to listen to this podcast, turn it up right now. Kids, that's what hard work gets you. Work hard, you'll get goals.
There you go. So to continue with Keith's question, by the way, Keith, appreciate the question. He did a great job of kind of breaking down who all of the teams are going to be playing, but it's a little too wordy, so I can't get into all of it. But long and short of it is Keith kind of wants to get our opinion of who do we think's going down. He thinks the current 3 aren't going to be able to dig their way out because they just don't have very many easy games left. As opposed to getting into the games, I'm going to read off the points real quick. So sitting at 31 points is Arsenal, Burnley, Newcastle, and Southampton. Obviously, there's no concern for Arsenal, but Burnley, a couple of bad results. Newcastle, a couple of bad results. Southampton, a couple of bad results.
Yep, you can find yourselves right back down in it.
Palace is at 30 points currently. Brighton and Bournemouth are at 26. Villa at 25. West Ham, even though it autocorrected to Weston for some reason, is at 24. Watford at 23 and Norwich at 18.
All right, Norwich is going down.
Yeah,
we don't even need to talk about
it. In fact, Sam, I'd like to go ahead and say the following. Unless something miraculous happens, like they beat a city again, we're just not fucking talking about Norwich anymore. Unless they do something remarkable, I'm done talking. We don't have any Norwich listeners. If we have a Norwich listener, how about you fucking reach out and tell us to talk about your club? Otherwise, I'm done talking about you.
Yeah, fair enough.
You're fucking going down. Goodbye. It was nice knowing you.
I mean, Daniel Farke is fantastic, though.
Yeah.
His press conferences are very funny.
This is why I'm not even going to bother learning how to pronounce their name.
All right, so you can't. So here's the thing: like one win, West Ham's in 15th.
Right.
You know, one win, Watford is in probably 16th. I think Crystal Palace and Brighton will be fine, especially given their goal differential. So just going through real quick, Watford on 23 points is minus 16.
Yeah.
West Ham on 24 points, minus 13. Villa on 25 points, minus 15. Bournemouth on 26 points, minus 13. Brighton and Crystal Palace on 26 and 30, respectively, are both minus 7.
Okay.
And goal differential to the relegation battle is almost like a point.
Right, but
on
I
the
wonder,
table.
But with as close as it is, with a point here, a point there, and not like a 3-point kind of gap kind of thing, I'm wondering if those...
But that's where that goal differential comes into play. I mean, Crystal Palace has been fairly organized all season.
Yeah,
You're not going to see from them, you shouldn't see, I won't put it past them, but you shouldn't see a 6 or 7 goal swing by the end of the season.
But like Brighton still hasn't gotten a fucking win yet again. Like another new calendar year, and what's Brighton not
still
doing? Not
winning.
So it doesn't matter what their goal differential is. If they're not getting fucking points, at some point they're going to fall into the zone.
Well, not necessarily, because the people below them are that much shittier.
But what if those teams get wins?
All right, let's be real.
Okay.
Let's be honest for a second. Who do you see getting a win in that bottom 3? West Ham play Liverpool, City.
I think West Ham will ultimately get the points they need towards the end, because here's the other thing too that's got to be said, and I mentioned this, I emailed it back to Keith, but I'll say it here. You overlook the one major factor: teams actually giving a shit, because once they hit that number 39 and they know they're safe, they know they're not going down, they know they're not going to Europe. They know that now they're just playing till it's vacation time.
Well, here's the problem.
You'd be amazed how many of those teams will lose head scratchers to teams in the bottom, because the teams in the bottom desperately need the win.
But here you go. To that point, and that's a well-taken point, in a normal situation, Chelsea in 4th place after 25 games are sitting on 41 points.
Yeah.
That's trash. That's
yeah.
garbage.
Oh, yeah.
They are just officially safe.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're the 4th place team.
Tottenham in 5th on 37. Sheffield in 6th on 36. United in 7th on 35. Wolves in 8th on 35. Everton in 9th on 33. One win, you're in 6th place.
Yeah.
Arsenal in 31 and 10th. One win, and we jump up to 9th. But we're 10 points out of 4th place. That's 3 games. And with Chelsea's inconsistently, you can absolutely have it.
It could be had.
Tottenham's inconsistent. United's inconsistent. Right? So I'm not worried about relegation. But all of us in that from 10th up, Burnley realistically probably won't happen. But from 10th up, we're all concerned with getting into Europe.
Yeah.
It's attracting players. It's money. It's everything that and we're used to it, right? Those games that we normally don't give a shit at the end of the season is because we've already secured European football.
True.
We don't have that security yet.
Right.
Tottenham doesn't have that security yet because we're nipping at their heels.
Yeah, but if you also
United doesn't have that security yet.
But if you also reach that point where the European spots start to get locked up,
it lasts 2 games.
It happens normally sooner than that. But
Right, it normally does. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is the numbers show that it's not.
Right.
It's not locked up.
But also,
So unless somebody goes on a run, which no one has done all season, it's not going. They're still going to be chasing those places.
Couple that though with the shitty effort of football so far. How many of those teams do you think really want to be in Europe? Because they know they're a fucking mess.
No, I feel you.
If you were going to pick 3, who are your 3 to go down right now?
I would tend to say the 3 that are there.
Yeah, I would
tend to say the 3 that are there right now.
I would swap out West Ham for Bournemouth. Bournemouth's gotten a couple of wins, but they haven't looked convincing to me, and I feel like they're still in a lot more trouble than they're letting on. That's my personal
I
opinion.
mean, honestly, from 15 down, I think you're in a lot of trouble. I think Crystal Palace stays up.
Okay,
But if from 15th down, it's a fucking coin toss, Mel. It's a coin toss, Sam.
beautifully said.
Thanks.
All right, so let's get through this pretty quickly here.
Well, welcome back to the Sam
yeah.
Graham's an Asshole show.
Yeah, wrapping up the rest of the league. And so that happened when your co-host looks at you and goes, I want you to fuck up the beginning. You've just given yourself bad karma to fuck up the English language the rest of the show.
Remember,
Wolves
I'm the only
0.
one
Wolves 0, Man U 0, Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. That was a barn burner. Leicester 2, Chelsea 2, Sheffield United 1, Palace 0, Liverpool 4, Southampton 0, and Liverpool 2, West Ham 0 from the middle of the week.
From the last round.
Yes. So you were going to say there, as I just decided to bulldoze my way through the scores there?
No, nothing. I wanted
Okay. All right. So then
to be
I
honest
feel
with you,
completely vindicated for bulldozing my way through.
don't remember.
All right. Wolves Man U. Debut for Bruno.
Yeah. So I'll just read my notes.
And on to Arsenal
here.
Burnley.
Right. Bruno Fernandes made his first start just hours after signing. Patricio and De Gea had a few good saves. A lot of near misses. That was it.
Yeah, pretty
Nothing
much.
really happened.
You know, Bruno. We'll talk about it more when we do some. We'll have more to talk
When he
about in the
does
next.
something,
Well, in the next couple of weeks, when there's less games, we'll have a little bit more to pontificate on.
he did have one really good
Looks-
strike. Very difficult skill.
You know what he looked like out there?
A leader.
Which is the one thing Manchester United needs.
Absolutely.
Look like a leader.
He had one strike. It was phenomenal. The skill of the strike was, I mean, it was straight down the middle. Patricio. God
Yeah.
damn, I've been brain farting all over the place.
Yeah, you have been.
I got brain gas. They Patricio, it was right down the pipe and he saved it, but it was a phenomenal
One
skill.
would
The way it was
require a
coming
brain to
back
have
to
brain
him,
gas. Go ahead, keep talking. What was that? I
the
didn't
way
hear you.
that it came to him and the way in which he struck it, it was phenomenal. He's an excellent player. Excellent player. It's a great signing.
Right.
What are you going to do? He doesn't know anybody.
All right, so I slept in and then I went to DC to look at art. What happened in Arsenal Burnley looks like dick.
Boring ass game is all I wrote.
No, hey, a
Pierre-
shutout.
Pierre-Emerick, yeah, clean sheet. That is positive. Thank God for goal line technology.
Oh yeah, saved you.
Jay Rodriguez put one off the underside of the crossbar.
And stayed out.
Not as close as Aguero's in the Champions League with Tottenham, but yeah, it was about half the ball was still on the line.
Got it.
I mean, this was like Lampard-esque in the World Cup. You know what I mean?
Got it.
His went over the line, but there was no goal line technology.
Right.
This one, the technology saved us because it definitely was, but they probably would have given it, to be honest.
So,
but yeah, it was terrible. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang missed a sitter and really fucked us, and that was it.
heard. Alan, your bet there didn't go too well between those two games down, did it?
No, it didn't go so well.
I'll tell you what though. At least the weekend started off fabulously. That Leicester-Chelsea match was fantastic.
I started off really helter-skelter.
It was crazy match.
And then another whiff from Hudson-Odoi.
Yep.
Well, another. He started it off because West Ham played later. But we talked about West Ham first. It
Right.
was a whiff nonetheless.
Yes.
And it was quite humorous. Completely just missed his kick. But other than that, the only thing I really have to say about this game was why in the fuck is Ben Chilwell marking Antoine Rudiger?
I had no idea.
Antonio Rudiger. Why?
Tallest motherfucker on the pitch. You got the smallest motherfucker on him.
Why is Ben Chilwell marking
Makes no sense.
Antonio Rudiger on two separate occasions, about 6 minutes apart or whatever it was?
Why is it not Sunyochu or Jones?
What are you doing?
Like,
What are you doing?
felt
Big surprise. He got overpowered both times.
felt exactly like the first time they played. Leicester probably deserved all three, but ended up with only one. That's exactly how that match felt.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm with you.
Thought Leicester was the better side.
Agreed.
So Sheffield and Palace, really not much to say other than just two specific things. Want to go ahead and cover the goal there, Sam?
Guaita pulling a Pickford.
Yeah, no shit.
Saving the ball behind the line.
Yeah,
No,
wrong-
actually, he caught it and
then-
fell into the net.
and then took
Yeah.
it into the goal.
Yeah, well done.
And then, how about the referee? Amazing what happens when you use a television screen.
I know. He downgraded a red to a yellow.
Gave a red card, went and looked at the screen, went, hey, I was a bit harsh, walked over, rescinded the red, and gave him the yellow.
I also particularly love the theatrics for the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He takes the red back out of his pocket, holds it in the air, and then waves his arms
Yeah,
no.
waves it off as
Yeah,
no red card.
No red. And then puts it back in his pocket, pulls the yellow out.
Yep. That was
That's-
pretty brilliant.
That's pretty good. You got to let the people in the stadium know what's going on.
I say not much else to say about that game, was there?
No, not at all.
Guaita
Nothing.
walked the ball into the net. The ref actually used the television screen.
Yeah.
Yay!
And made a sensible decision.
So, Russ has asked us very nicely, and I can't really argue with him to name this segment. Oh, so Liverpool won because. Oh, so Liverpool won two games in a row.
Yeah.
I don't see them actually losing at all.
They better fucking lose.
And they better fucking lose to City. I do not want that juju on me while I'm in Liverpool at Goodison for the derby.
Still mad as shit got moved to Monday.
Oh my god,
Fuck.
I might. I might not come home because I might jump into the Mersey if that fucking happens. Honey, it's been nice knowing you. I just don't know. If that happens, fuck
That
my
water's
life.
thicker than the Hudson, too.
Well, I guess if that happens, gentlemen, I am single.
It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. We all
We're
lost.
going to mix it up tonight.
Okay, we all lost.
Pat's going to go first.
Okay, we all lost. Oh, because that means you're looking up your bet
Yep.
right now.
Completely forgot.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, we all lost, including the chicken. So let me go ahead
God
and
damn,
then
we suck.
pull up.
Stupid chicken.
Let me go ahead and pull up Pat's picture here then, because apparently
His
we
picture,
got to
his
do
email.
Pat's segment. His email. Well, I take a picture of the email, so it's a little larger, so my old ass can read it.
Got it.
So let's go ahead and do.
Oh, yeah, there's only
And
4
now,
fucking games.
it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Sorry, I was thinking out loud.
Yeah, don't think out loud while audio is playing.
I started scrolling down, and I was like, shit, that's right. It was
We-
winter break starts.
We spent a solid $5 on that fucking production. Do me a favor and don't stomp all over it, prick.
You just wasted a nickel, dude.
All right, play it again. Play it again. They won't mind.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Is that better?
I love that.
All right, good.
Makes me smile.
I know.
No fancy title this week. Man City, West Ham. Gonna make this one short because my friggin' head is pounding from a hangover after the Super Bowl last night. Shocker. Hopefully your pocket's got some money in it, boy, and you didn't lose too much on prop bets. The Sunday game has Manchester City hosting West Ham, and it's -2.5 at -133. So I think I have to take City here. I can't see them screwing up to West Ham, not getting 3 goals and or losing to West Ham. So he's going to risk 133 to win 100. Nice and simple. Not a lot of games to pick, and he'll chat with us next week. Have I stalled enough for you, you unprepared fuck?
Speaking of prop bets, I was talking to another rep friend of mine in the market today for the Super Bowl. His son had 2 bets that he put a lot of money in. Patrick Mahomes' longest pass, over under. He put over 42 and under 50. And he put like a lot of money on one and half of that on the other.
Uh-huh.
His longest pass of the game was that 44-yard touchdown pass. He won both bets.
Wow.
And I can't hit expected results.
And he won both bets.
And he won both of those bets. It's bullshit.
All right, so real quick, I just want to let you know that you went for broke and you failed miserably, and you're slowly working your way back to Mount 2000, and you're currently at -1387.
That's
so
fine.
what bullshit do you have in store for us this week that you figured out in 30 fucking seconds?
I didn't figure it out in 30 seconds. I'm going to parlay Everton, Palace, and Brighton, Watford.
Who are you picking?
Everton to
Okay.
win against Palace, and then Watford to win against Brighton away.
Okay.
Plus 477.
All righty. So there we go.
Brighton's woeful at the moment.
Yeah, but they can get goals.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think Troy Deeney's going to muscle him. I really do.
Got it. I'm back on a losing streak and at -667 as I've now lost, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. So I need to fix that in a hurry. So
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
I can't even say it because I don't even know if it does. I'm going to take the over 2.5 in the Sheffield Bournemouth match at +120.
Really?
Sheffield doesn't give up very many goals, but Bournemouth scores. So I feel like this is going to be a 2-1 kind of game. And also Bournemouth likes to, Bournemouth's going to Sheffield. So I feel like Sheffield's going to get the opportunity to counter quite a bit, and they typically will make a team pay if they get those opportunities. But I'm also
right.
covering myself because I'm making a second bet. So if one hits
Separately.
right, so if one hits and one doesn't, I end up
You
at a
wash.
push for the week.
Yeah.
This one I'm going a little bit riskier, but I really like. I'm going with DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Richarlison to both score in the Everton Palace match at plus 480. So if I
Say it
hit
again, Dominic Calvert-Lewin
Lewin and Richarlison
and Richie.
to score in no order, just to score, both of them to score
Okay.
at plus 480, and if I do that,
Interesting.
I'm then down to like minus $40.
All right.
I'm right near even. And if one
That's
hits
not
and
bad.
one doesn't, it's a push. If both lose, I lose 200. Well, fortunately, you already lost 200. I didn't give you an opportunity to write down yours. I wrote down mine for the couple losers. You lost double of what I lost, so I win, is what I wrote down. Because you lost 200 and I only lost 100. So,
I just wrote, fuck this.
all right, good.
Fair enough.
Feed the couple losers. And you know what? If we gave you that, that'd be enough. But no, we give you Kitty the chicken.
So apparently they're playing this in the clubs now. So Kitty hit big on a prop bet in the Super Bowl, and her bet was that Trump would tweet that the Chiefs are from the state of Kansas.
Girl knows how to make a bet.
That's funny.
So she's already forgotten that Newcastle match even happened and was in good spirits. So this week, I gave her Sheffield. Who, Graham? I'm going to let you do it this time. Sheffield, a.k.a.
Doublades.
Hosting Bournemouth. And so she quickly showed me a picture of her in a jam session with Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott and Chili Peppers bassist Flea, who both have ties with
Meth. Oh, sorry. We went somewhere different with that.
I mean, both are probably true. And so she is picking Sheffield to win this week.
You know, Sam, she been hanging out with the Gallagher brothers a lot. Knows how to strum a guitar, so a little three-piece going there. How about that?
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
You can't get the Gallagher brothers in the same room, though.
All right, so
She can.
Well, that's true.
full disclosure, when Sam was backstage with the Canels
Yes.
and they were talking about Oasis, I said out loud, "Oh, my chicken hangs out with them." As always, people, remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
I am a fantastic goalkeeper.
That's what I heard.
You did all right.
Played very well.
I
played
would
very
say
well.
you were very Pepe Reina-esque. There was not a lot of holding.
There was one point in which I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
One point in which I was.
There was a lot of knocking it away, which is fine. It's indoor. Just get it away
I'm
from
also
the fucking
not a
net.
fucking goalkeeper.
No, not at all.
It was a lot better my last performance in
Yeah.
that. So, well, last time I only got a half. The time before that, I gave up 11 goals in 8 minutes.
Yeah, but the last time you got a W, what did you get this time?
That was a big fat L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost 6-5. Just didn't have
That was
the
tough.
legs. It was
Well,
tough.
One of them was dumb. One of them was real dumb.
Yeah.
The guy went to back flick it, wasn't even looking where I was, and he missed it.
And it just rolled into the net.
It just
'cause
rolled. I went for the flick, yeah,
Right.
because I knew what he was going to do. I saw what he checked his shoulder to see
Yeah.
where the runner was.
And he flat out missed. That was the worst part. It
He
wasn't
just-
it wasn't like he purposely missed. He just fucking missed.
Yeah, and I was out of position at that point because I was playing the pass.
Nothing worse than when you're doing the falling away, you're diving away, and you're
And
just
just
looking the
watching
ball
it,
go the
yeah.
other direction. You're like, fuck me.
It's terrible.
What a waste of diving.
But that was
It's-
basically it. I mean, we played all right. We had a couple of really decent pieces of football going down the field. 1-2 touch ended up in a goal a couple times. There's still things to be happy about, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep, absolutely. Play Elite next week, so one of the tougher teams. But
Well, we got to do is get
play
them to
well.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, we play them well. So
If we get in their head, we're fine.
All right, so that about wraps it up, boys and girls. Sammy, I'm going to jump in with some parting words real quick, and then let you take it away for some parting words as well.
Okay.
Just a quick shout out to all the fans, just all the listeners, people who've been listening to the show. Let it be known, I am horrifically. How about I use the English language? Horrifically aware of my cough, and I just want to say I'm really sorry that you guys have had to be listening to me the whole time. Let it be known, I am thoroughly aware of it, and I have I'm
sexed?
Are you aware that you can't speak right now?
Exactly, because I fucked with Graham.
How
so
about
the
you
juju's,
apologize? Yeah, how about
the
you
juju's
apologize
coming
for
back
that?
to me. I have went and gotten a medical opinion, and I'm working diligently on fixing it. And
I don't think he coughed once this show.
I did a few times, but it's better than it has been. So hopefully we're able to fix the problem. And
so you're not dying?
No, I'm not dying.
So
but
I'm not single?
No. You'll only be single if Liverpool wins the league at Goodison. Then it's over.
Heard.
So with that in mind, I'm really aware of it. I'm very embarrassed by it myself. So hopefully the problem is fixed soon. So Sammy,
The amount of fucking phone calls I get, I coughed too much today.
yeah, that's me on
Jesus
sound
Christ.
checks.
I'm over it. Yeah. Parting words. What'd you think of the Super Bowl halftime show?
So much ass, and I loved it.
Me too.
Oh my god.
Everyone that's butt hurt by it, shut the fuck up. This is the wardrobe malfunction I was praying for since I was 14, and it didn't come true, but I was still happy.
I had my ass on the elliptical today after that halftime show. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
All the ass was on display, and it was fabulous.
Fantastic.
And any Karen that wants to bitch and moan about that, but didn't seem to have any problem with
Adam Levine's
abs last
out,
year,
yeah.
fucking chill out. Get over it.
For sex sells. It's been on MTV for 25 years. There's no reason. Let people wear what they want, man.
They are Latin women that are known for shaking their asses. What did you expect them to do? Get up there and do a fucking polka?
I've seen a lot of issues about like what they were actually like physically wearing. No problem with any of that.
They had more clothes than cheerleaders.
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
And the light show on the dance floor, that was super awesome. The way it faded out and
Yeah.
had the block in the middle. How come no one's talking about that
and
shit?
J-Lo's coat was fantastic.
Oh, and then it flips around and it's the Puerto Rico flag. And
For those
and
of
then
you
her
that don't
daughter-
know, yeah, for those of you
her
that don't,
daughter did so
was
well. The
phenomenal.
kid, oh.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I have a Puerto Rican grandmother.
Wasn't that awesome?
I've got Boricua blood in me, and
Yeah.
it's so proud, so proud. Stop being mad at brown people.
Yeah. It's
I'm going to get
okay.
you that coat for your birthday.
Don't be a cunt.
Yeah, don't be
I'll
a cunt.
sign off the same way I signed off many times.
Fabulous.
It's very easy.
All right.
Don't be a cunt.
So thank you very much for joining us, boys and girls. Next up is Injury Time. Just us doing an extra hour show for our Patreon listeners. Sammy, how do you go about finding out where we're at for Patreon?
www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow.
Excellent.
I was going to be a dick, and then I didn't.
Don't be a cunt.
Don't be a cunt. I remembered my own advice for
There you
once.
go. Good
Yeah.
boy.
So if you'd like to check it out, we'd love to have you. So till next
You
week,
get
everybody.
sound check, you get injury time, you get, oh my God, there's so much on offer.
Tons of free
We're
content.
thinking about actually
it's not free
releasing my
content.
notes.
Tons of content. So
Yeah.
lots. What little bit you pay, you get a lot of extra content. So,
That's right.
All right, kids. Till next week.
Bon noir. Then they showed the slow motion. That's hard to say. They showed the slow motion
Well done.
thank you,